I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we're going to be finding out, is this choice going to make you happy? Point blank, you're making a decision, and this can be in any field. We're keeping it very open, very general, and you're like, if I do this, am I going to be happy with the results? That's one of my favorite things my spirit guides will say. They'll always say, you're going to be very happy with the results of this. You know, is this the right choice? How am I going to feel afterwards? That's the best answer. Am I going to be happy with the end result? We're going to be looking into that today. So hold your question in your mind as you go to pick the adjacent stone for that group. As a reminder, I just want to let you guys know that I just put up 3 new videos over on Patreon. Basically, what I'm working on is like sort of a spiritual Netflix of answering questions, having fun, sharing as much possible information as over there as possible. And those 3 videos are, can animals and plants level up spiritually as we do, and how would they go about doing that? In addition to that, again, we were talking about supernaturals, which is very fun, and we went into detail of the spiritual meaning as to why do fairies make contracts, and just talking about the realm and stuff a bit over there. And in addition to that, somebody asked the question, can you experience soul fragment loss from doing, you know, too much of TV watching, social media, that whole jazz? And over on my Patreon, I also have a guided meditation of how to get your soul fragments back. Talking about soul fragment loss, I went into a great detail. I can go into even more detail if you guys are interested. Also, I wanted to let you guys know I have an intuition training course and a tarot training course. Both bring you into a point in your life where you finally can look behind the veil and find out what is going on in my life, what's happening, where do I go, and be able to be a part of the process and understand it a lot better. Tarot is really great for those instant results, for building and opening up your psychic abilities and getting answers when you feel like you're not always sure if your abilities are kind of like up to par or maybe a little fuzzy. Tarot's kind of very physical and in your face and can give you answers that way. And then in the intuition training course, it's all about going to the spirit realm, bridging the non-physical and the physical together, meeting your forever guy, aka your spiritual teacher, and going even into further depths into your abilities and learning how to bring them into the real world and how it all combines together. Both of them are fantastic. I highly recommend both of them together. Just letting you know that's out there. Anyways, back to our question at hand. We've got group number 1 with an Onyx, group number 2 with a clear quartz, group number 3, which is a Seafoam, I think it's Citrine, I think is how you pronounce it, and group number 4, Angelite. Hold that question in your mind. Give yourself a moment to pick the crystal that you resonate with. Now that you have, you can go down to the description where you can go to your designated group with its marked timestamp, and let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's find out, is this choice going to make you happy? By looking at the cards. We've got the Queen of Pentacles upright. I love that Queen of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles upright, the 4 of Pentacles upright, the Hangman upright, and Temperance in reverse. Oh. Okay, give me a moment to look at this. This is interesting. Okay, so this is definitely one of those, I mean, I always recommend this because I really try to jam-pack these videos full of information, but make sure you stick around for the end result, because this is both simultaneously giving an answer to this question, but giving a lot of subtext and an answer to that subtext, which I think is really interesting. So first we have you here depicted on the Queen of Pentacles. As my spirit guide was describing it as, you've got your eye on the prize, you're very focused, you want this thing to happen. Especially with some of the other adjacent cards, I always like to point this out for anyone enjoying my tarot course or a fellow tarot reader. We can see some subtext here when we have a queen being the representation of like lots of hard work, really took some time to develop that skill. When we invest a lot of time and energy into something, we care about it. With the Knight of Pentacles, it's this, again, that same concept of like you've worked hard for it. Your goal is to like earn a lot, receive a lot, that type of thing. Anyways, and also with the Four of Pentacles, but we'll get to subtext on that in 1 second though. I can tell this is something that's like a bigger goal for you, more than just a simple like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. What do you think? Should I buy this shirt or this shirt, this crystal or that crystal? This is something you're very locked on and you've been wanting it for some time. Now, the good news is, and I've got lots of good news here, but with the Queen of Pentacles, my spirit guide said that your skills, especially when it comes to what you have to personally offer in your skills, you are good to go. You're good enough, you've worked hard enough, you've crafted it, really whittled it down into something that you can be proud to offer the world and other people will take notice. And that's not something you need to kind of get in your head about anymore. You can be like, yeah, I'm good enough. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to step up to the plate and receive my position in a dream career. I feel good about myself as an individual. And so if I want to like find a partner, I'm good to be a good partner. I really feel proud of who I am as an individual. Maybe you're trying to go deeper into your own spiritual practice and you're like, how do I get there? You already are skilled enough to get there, but now let's talk about some of the things that are kind of in the way, if you will. So first, let's start off with the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles is when somebody is sort of so concentrated and worried and holding on that they're kind of keeping things back from flowing their way, prospering, that type of thing. Often this comes from either a fear mindset that they don't have enough to offer, or when we talk about your eye being on the prize, you're so focused on it that what ends up happening is you're not allowing anything else to enter your mind. And this is where the sort of where you want to kind of curb it or change it. The way my spirit guide was describing it is, see how there's a pentacle in every, in the eyes, in the third eye, on top of their head, in their heart, everything like that. Think of all of those areas as potential floodgates where the thing that you want can come through. And because you're holding it in every aspect of your mind, your subconscious, especially when we have the Hangman over here with the reference to Neptune also being additional in there. We have it in your third eye, deep in that inner, and we're not even talking about subconscious, we're talking about like that psychic, like that's where you're putting your intention to be there. You're holding it into your heart. It's what you really want. You're focusing it on it. You're looking for it in every single aspect of your life. You're looking for details of what people are saying, what you're seeing around you. There's a lot of comparing yourself, that type of thing. But the problem is because there is not enough of a like, sometimes you're wanting to have this thing happen. You're making choices to move in that direction. Because you're not allowing it to also have times where you kind of decompress, don't think about it at all. Maybe you're just having fun, having an opinion on some sort of like pop culture reference or a TV show or something like that. You're not, it's less that you're holding on it so tightly. I'm trying to find the right wording. The way my spirit guide described it is, these are potential floodgates that could happen and you're blocking them up by not giving any room to breathe, by giving attention in other areas of your life and maybe just having one eye on a pentacle, you know what I mean, rather than every single part of it is so focused on that. But also when we talk about subtext with the tarot course, this is somebody who's doing that most likely because they care so much. They want it so much. And that's not something anyone can really criticize, and it is not necessarily a bad thing. But it is very frustrating when we're working towards something and we're like, I want it to happen. Why isn't it happening? So we're trying to look into the whys and how we can change some stuff. So one of the very first things before we go into the other cards is just being self-aware that sometimes you need to kind of like turn off your brain and trust, okay, what I have to offer is more than enough. I am focused enough that I want this thing to happen. Nothing's going to get in my way because I'm letting myself and my intention, my brain know that's where I want to go. I don't need to micromanage in between. I can kind of let my brain wander and be creative and be a little more present in life in order to allow that sort of floodgate to open to bring it more my way in a larger, abundant amount factor. Now, I have more to say on that, but before we get there with the Nine of Pentacles, and it's also really, really, really good news, then we have over here the, oh, no, I want to go to the Temperance card in reverse. The Temperance card in reverse shows me you're just feeling like off. Part of that is, again, from that mindset, where it goes from being focused and excited and happy about whatever you're trying to achieve or get and receive, to because you haven't received it, and the more and more you're aware of it and you're searching for it and you're holding on to the dream of it, the more it's making you feel off. I really like what my spirit guide was pointing out in the cards. So spiritually, pink means in the Akashic Records freedom. It's like a lot of just point blank freedom, the ability to do anything, think of lots of space, openness. You can go anywhere, wherever you want, however you want. Think of it as like flying around rather than, going on a bike type of scenario. But if you notice that the pink is surrounding them, they're not pink. As in, it feels like you're projecting this mantra internally in you that is making you not feel your best, and this not feeling your best is also affecting your energy. And I want to point this out, Temperance is about energy, and sometimes, and this is really interesting, so let me, I'm trying to not get ahead of myself. The main thing we want to take from this card, and then we want to break it down so you can use it in practical terms, is your inner mantra is like saying, look at what they have, or look how easy it comes for them. When am I going to get my opportunity? Look, another person is has this ability to make this thing happen. Oh, look over here. Another person is getting this thing they want, and I'm working hard towards it. I don't want to use only the terms of jealousy because I don't get a jealous vibe from you. It's more like you're noticing opportunities all around you, and you're wondering why that isn't in your flow, that isn't something that you feel like you're vibrating and connected with. You want it, you're hyper aware of it, you see it all around you, but you're not quite sure what you need to do to get aligned with it. Well, Temperance card, going back to what we were talking about, is really interesting because compared to the Queen of Cups is your emotions. And I have a bunch of Spiritual Talks videos talking in detail about energy, but a lot of people are unaware of how much the energies that we either exude or pick up affect us emotionally. And sometimes we are unaware that those are the things that we should be treating or focusing on, because they will in turn help our emotions respond and then respond to the new energy. So what happens is you're repeating these mantras and has this sort of like subconscious outlook that you're noticing around you and sort of saying to yourself that you don't have that. That's the opposite for you. Why is it hard for you? That type of thing. And what's happening is you're creating an energy with that mindset, and then your emotions are reacting to that energy, and then it's creating this sort of vibration that makes you not feel or embody that sense of freeness. And so what ends up happening is you're doing this on such a subconscious level, an unaware level of saying this type of stuff to yourself or being in this mindset, that you end up being like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I'm confident. I feel like I'm working myself. I feel like I have something good to offer. What am I doing wrong? Because you're doing it on such a subconscious level. So one of the things that you definitely can do is start to just say what you would like to embody. And don't worry if you don't feel it. Let that new mantra create that new energy and allow your emotions to catch up. And make that deal with yourself that if it takes a couple days or like a week for it to kick in, that's okay. But you're going to be consistent, you're going to be patient with yourself, and you're just going to relax and say what you want rather than what you're worried you don't have. And say that you want to embody that sense of like, you've got all the options, everything always works out for you, that those opportunities you want to come your way come in tenfolds, and so on and so forth. Now over here with the Hangman, what did my spirit guide say? Oh, I'm trying to remember what they were saying. They said that if you notice in this imagery right here for this particular version of the cards reading, they actually don't have anything holding them up by the leg. Traditionally, they would have that. And my spirit guide's saying that when it comes to the Hangman, this card refers to when somebody is feels like things aren't working out timing-wise. Maybe this is even something you've told yourself, but in reality, you have actually consciously made the choice to put yourself there. And I know that might seem, and again, we're not trying to be accusatory here, we're trying to be self-aware so we can change things to feel better. So over here, we have that image of somebody holding on. They're not aware of how much they're holding on because what they're just trying to do is be excited about something, but that holding on is creating sort of a blockage in a way. Then we have over here someone subconsciously, but still doing it, themselves, repeating mantras, creating an environment, and then their more surface level emotions reacting to that. Again, they had the control to create over it. With the Queen, she has got all the control. So it only makes sense the ways that she kind of subconsciously brings herself down are also something she controls herself. So there's a lot of, weirdly, it's like a compliment. It's like you're in more control than you're aware of. Do you know what I'm saying here? So it's actually not a timing problem going on here when it comes to achieving these bigger things. It's that you are telling yourself it's a timing thing. And again, we tell ourselves what we want to happen. It's happening for me instantly. It's coming my way very quickly. I already accept that I'm somebody available for these positive options, and realize that you can actually sort of take yourself off the sideline more than you realize. Now, getting to the end result of the question and bringing it all together, why it's important, we talked about the subtext of this and the end result. So I'm really happy to say with the Nine of Pentacles, this is the ultimate wealth card. But this is also the card of somebody who's very successful in every avenue of their life. There's a lot of conscious crafting behind it, which is why it pairs so perfectly with the Queen of Pentacles. Both of these cards are two individuals who made their fortune, made what they wanted to happen in their life, made their manifestation energy, whatever they wanted themselves, did it with skill, knew how to self-edit and self-be aware, and had the courage to climb their way to the position they wanted to be. So this is luxury, this is happiness, this is independence, this is getting to do what you want to do. And the cool thing about, again, when we go to the tarot training course that I talk about, we want to look at the interpretations of the cards and the way they're viewing each other. Now, the interesting thing here is the Nine of Pentacles is looking at the Queen of Pentacles. She's following right behind. And what my spirit guide was telling me is that you sort of are inevitably you were meant to have this thing. As in, it's more than you going, hey, I made this decision. Was this the right decision? Then am I going to be happy with how this all works out? You are meant to have this. This is you are destined, especially, I do want to point this out, in this particular scenario, I'm getting more of yes, we're talking about an individual decision, but when we talk about, it's you're working towards this bigger thing. So we're both answering this decision, and in life, this goal that you're moving towards, you're meant to have it. You were destined for it. And it's always been kind of sort of finding you as much as you're trying to find it. But that's the key thing here, and you'll notice how it all beautifully comes together. It's destined for you. You're qualified for it, and it's also coming for you. So you're ready for it, and it was searching you out. But if you notice, while this card is facing and ready to interact and hand all these pentacles to the Queen of Pentacles, she's turning away, and she's only focused on the one single pentacle she has. She's like, I got this one pentacle. I'm really proud of it. I made it, but I'm looking for my others. I wonder where they're coming from, blah, blah, blah. She has no idea she can just turn around and there they are. So she is, because of, we talk about where her eye set is, when your mind is only in one place, you're unable to see the things being thrown your way. You can put it that way. So the answer is both, yes, this is a decision that's going to make you happy, but it's also a destiny related thing, and we're talking about where you're at and the things that you're perpetuating in your life right now, so that not only can you enjoy this decision going forward, but you can also kind of check in with yourself and have a happier scenario for yourself at this very moment, and Therefore, be able to see and be open up to not only this opportunity, but many more going forward. So it's about being more self-aware of the power you have in your life and being aware of how the now can affect the later, but also talking about how it's kind of like essentially this card is like a giant compliment party of being like, you got it. You're doing great. Open your eyes. Turn around. No, but what else do I have to do? Stop. Let go. You're good enough. You got this. Receive it. Open up. And the biggest thing I would highly recommend if you need something to kind of focus your mind as like a maker, a doer, a proactive person, at the minimum, remember what we talked about over here with the Temperance card? Repeat consistently the mantra that you want. And one of the biggest things you can acknowledge is that there is always a possibility. It doesn't matter if it doesn't happen the way you think it does. Always say to yourself, I acknowledge there's a possibility this could happen. I acknowledge there's a possibility everything could go my way. I acknowledge there's a possibility I could get my dream job somewhere. I acknowledge there's a possibility I can meet the love of my life tomorrow. Because there's so many different timelines and ways things can work out. Why can't there be a sliver of a possibility? And why can't you be on that possibility? So essentially, you're amazing, you're awesome. Yes, decision is going to make you happy, and I'm really excited for you to put these other things into effect to just essentially enjoy the power and skill that you already have. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please give this video a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can see every one of my videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2, let's find out. Is this decision going to make you happy? By looking at the cards. We've got, oh, I love that moon card. Moon card upright. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Judgment in reverse. 3 of Swords upright. And the Emperor card upright. Ooh. Give me a moment to peel back a little bit of this some more. Well, I can just tell you right now, before I go into this, there is some intense energy coming from this reading. Like very somber, very holding back, but very in the depths of their feelings. It's intense. Like I can feel the weight that's being carried here. So let's first start talking about what I'm seeing in a current state of mind. And this is something important to remember if you're taking my tarot training course. Sometimes you're getting, whatever shows up in the cards is the most important thing to be known. So yes, we are getting an answer to the question at hand, but when I'm being shown context of a state of mind you're currently in, then I know that that is just as important as to where you would like to go and what it all means. That's how we come to the end conclusions of all the subtext. So first we're going to see you depicted here by the Emperor card, which by the way, this is such a gorgeous Emperor card. I love how the colors all run into each other right here in the sky. Beautiful artistic choice. Anyways, if you notice here, my spirit guide was pointing this out, that this Emperor has it all. This is how they put it. My spirit guide said, they have it all, but they're still so down. And I can see, and the way my spirit guide described the 3 of Swords, because this is important to notice, with the 3 of Swords, it often depicts, terrible sadness, grief, pain, betrayal, that type of thing. But the range of how intense is really case by case, because tarot often makes things sound much more intense than they really are. But my spirit guide didn't, really stressed, is what I meant to say, how devastating, that's the word they said. They said, this pain that you're carrying, something happened, was devastating to you. And it's really bringing you down. And I can see that the card that's representing you as the Emperor, that you're definitely someone who sort of keeps their feelings to themselves. So people might not even know the full extent of how much you're carrying that. Often this is from a state of trying to not bring others down, especially with the Emperor card. This is somebody who usually makes decisions for the greater good. You're usually considerate of other people's feelings. I want to be clear here. You should always express your feelings if you feel comfortable doing it. You're not bringing people down by expressing it, but this is often the mindset of somebody who's being depicted as the Emperor and going through this type of mindset. Now keep in mind we have that going there. So then we have the question at hand of, is this decision going to make you happy? Well, we have both an answer, but something greater behind it that I really want to more focus on that than just the answer. The answer is depicted over here in the Ace of Cups in reverse. And my spirit guide basically said that this decision will not make you happy and make you feel more closed off. But this is where it gets really interesting. I don't want you just to be like, wait a minute, what? Let's understand why, where can we go from here, and how we can change things, because that's the beautiful thing with tarot. We can look into things, we can see them, and then we can make decisions to change things. There is always a solution. Things will always get better. You will always find what you're looking for. So we have an important subtext being shown here with the Ace of Cups showing, because it's more than just like not being happy. It's pretty direct of saying like it's not a happy thing. But when it's in reverse, this card represents feeling distrustful, closed off, especially emotionally closed off. You're just not ready to start something new and go in this type of direction. But the Moon card is sort of saying, well, but why? And the Moon card actually has much more intense context than I hear a lot of people give it credit for. So the Moon represents this idea where there is a mystery, there is something big to understand about a scenario, yourself, in this case both, but it's about something that you haven't quite found out the answers to, and the Moon acts as sort of a blockage, but an intentional blockage you're supposed to see. Not blocking you and preventing you from seeing it, but saying like, it's like somebody holding something behind their back and you're like, what do you got there? You're meant to see that somebody is holding something back and that you're put into a position to ask questions why. And when you do find out why, I find when Moon cards pop up is it's usually a really big answer in a positive way. Like you have this whole greater understanding of yourself in the scenario. It's those giant aha moments that come with the Moon card. So this is why it's so fantastic that you've made this decision, and it isn't ultimately where you'd like to go with receiving this, because we have then you making ultimately, even when you don't know you are still in the flow, communicating with yourself by your own choices you're making, which is really beautiful. So what do I mean by that statement over here? Continuing, we're going to basically, with the Moon card, peel back the layer of, well, why this? So we have the Judgment card being paired with the Ace of Cups in reverse. When the Judgment card pops up, this often refers to sort of a test. This is when you go through something and you're like, why did this happen? Often it's popping up to help you better understand yourself, become a stronger individual, become better at something so that in the future you can use it to your advantage to make life easier and more enjoyable. So in the end, it's always it's not to be test to be punished, it's a test to make you more aware, stronger. And I find with something so powerful like the Judgment card, something so big like the Moon card, and with an individual who's thinking of the greater whole of the people they interact within themselves, I'm sensing a lot of really intense energy here, like in a very magical, positive way. I just want to point that out. And so what I was asking here is, well, who brought the trial your way? Sometimes spirit guides and other high vibrational beings are trying to basically give you what you want by sending it your way and helping you. Sometimes it's the universe, and in this particular case, you on a subconscious level asked for yourself to bring this into your environment, to make this decision, to reflect back to yourself how you're feeling. And we have that reflective thing going on here. So initially, with the Judgment card popping up, it's like saying, okay, I want to be tested. This is what the representation is. But when it's in reverse, it's kind of like you saying, I don't want to step up to the plate. I'm not in the mindset, I'm not in the mood, and the decision is basically the answer is being reflected back in the exact choice being made. So you're essentially making a decision that's like saying, that's how I feel, so I want that answer. But I'm not able to face my feelings, so I'm going to pick something that's going to put my feelings right in front of me. And I asked my spirit guide, well, why do they want that to happen? Like, what's the purpose of experiencing that type of emotions being reflected back at them? And my spirit guide said that on one hand, it's part of you sort of seeing how much you can take as an individual. It's like showing yourself, like, see how strong you are, see how it's not about like causing yourself more grief, but realizing that you're a lot stronger emotionally than you realize. And the other part of it is you're putting it in front of your face because currently in this state of mind, you haven't been able to, so to speak, snap out of it because, again, this experience was so devastating. And again, this is understandable. You're just reacting the way what you experienced. That by making this decision, and the decision being one you're not happy about, it forces you to be like, I don't want this anymore. I can't take this. I'm done. So essentially, going forward, even after the decision is made, you can then, it doesn't mean it's the decision for the rest of your life. You always have opportunities. You always have choice. At any point, you can leave that job. At any point, you can leave that person. At any point, you can do something different, even after the initial decision you make. But understand that you are trying to grow from this and peel back the layers and start to kind of question why when it comes to something being the result of your decision. You're trying to like understand that and start to get into that mindset by why you're like basically saying to yourself, like, why do I want to reflect this back at me? And then starts to ask other questions. Well, if I always make decisions that reflect back at me how I'm feeling, then maybe I can try to make decisions on how I want to feel and digging deeper in that. And when something doesn't feel the way you want it to feel, it's like being self-reflective and being like, oh, I must not be in the best state of mind if this is the result of my decision. But also realizing that you have that much control and power in your life. So remember, this is about being self-aware, getting stronger on a subconscious level, feeling like you're strong enough, even in this state of mind, that you're seeing if you can go to the next level of strength. But also sometimes like life works in a mysterious way, in the sense that like you never know how things are gonna like unveil themselves when you're like, how do I get out of this? It's like you putting yourself in a position to go, wake up, snap out of this. I need to move forward and live my best life because this grief is just not working for me and I couldn't see it in this state of mind. But after making this decision and putting this in front of me, I realize I don't want to experience this anymore. I don't deserve it. I deserve to live my best, happiest, most fruitful life. I can understandably feel the feelings I feel, but they will no longer dictate what I'm going to do next or prevent me from experiencing other emotional experiences. So essentially, yes, it's not the greatest like decision in the sense of like the end result in some ways isn't great, but in turn it actually means a lot of other positive stuff and it has a lot of positive results at the end of pulling you out of something. So in the end, this is just a reminder that even when you're not in the best state of mind or feel the most connected to yourself, you're still in the flow and making choices that are moving you forward, even when you aren't fully aware of that. But on a subconscious level, when we have the Moon and Judgment card, it seems like you are much more tapped into the universe and you are starting to kind of question things and go into it and use it to your advantage. So don't be afraid to like take a look at another things. Definitely pull out your own tarot cards whenever you have something that doesn't work out your way and be like, what can I learn from this? Is this meant to be reflecting something else? And use it to your advantage and change the scenario. You have control. You are in control of your fate. So I hope you liked this. Please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3, let's find out. Is your choice going to make you happy by looking at the cards? We've got Knight of Pentacles in reverse. 5 of Cups upright. 2 of Swords in reverse. King of Pentacles upright. And this beautiful, beautiful Empress card upright. Oh, I love this. Let me just look at 1 or 2 other things just real quick before I go into this. Okay, let's get into this. This is going to be overwhelmingly positive and happy. Okay, so first let's start off with the most on the nose, as I like to call them, cards for this particular question. The reason why I call it on the nose, jokingly, is when you are describing something and the card is so specific to the type of question you're asking. Often I find these are really great positive signs in general for reading tarot, but especially for beginner tarot readers, because it's like whoever you're speaking to, like if you're consoling and working with your spirit guide or your higher self or whomever, it's like they're saying back to you, hey, I hear you. I'm just addressing that, this answering like, yep, heard ya. So anyways, the 2 of Swords is all about making decisions. And it's when somebody is kind of in a point in their life where it's pretty important whatever they're going to choose, and they're kind of divided, like, do I go this way or go that way? And often I find when people are slowing down, it's interesting. It's like the decision, this is again a context situation, but I find with 2 of Swords, it doesn't solely mean it's a really big decision. In fact, it has a lot of subtext behind it. Sometimes it can be like, you just have trouble deciding between, maybe you're going to purchase something for yourself and you just can't quite decide between 2 different designs of something or colors of something or whatever. And it's not that big of a deal, but clearly you care enough about it, and it's like maybe you're treating yourself or something like that, that you're really focused on it. And it's this symbol of like, you want to get exactly what you want. So in that case, it's not a big deal, but it's big in that kind of way. So there's this subtext of it, like whether it be like a big life-changing decision, like, you know, what college you're going to go to, what job you're going to pick, that type of thing. Or sometimes it's really small. Either way, it's this idea of like, I want to make sure I'm being the truest to myself, because if I'm the truest to myself, I'll feel the best about whatever happens next. So that already gives me context of who you are as an individual. You're self-aware. You want to make sure that you're happy and you're living the most authentic version of you. But I got a lot of cool subtext with this card too. So my spirit guide was telling me some interesting stuff about this card. So when the card is in reverse, it essentially just means you've made a decision. You can see why here this card is so on the nose. Are you going to be happy with this decision or choice? Well, we can see you've made one. Well, when we look at this card in this particular interpretation of the imagery, when we look at intuitive reading, this is very like Portland, well, I don't know if I'd say Portland, very West Coast rocky seaport type of situation. And I was talking about it with my spirit guide, and I was like, well, it looks like where they're sitting on this really rocky scenario, not a lot of boats could come into that particular part of the harbor. And my spirit guide said, yes, exactly. And with it in reverse, essentially, it's the opposite. It's bringing in those boats. It's now a convenient situation. So not only can those boats come in, but for those boats to come in, it means the environment needs to change. So it's really interesting here because I'm not seeing enough additional cards that imply full on, like for some of you, it might be a full on, like you're changing an environment, you're gonna like go to a new place type of scenario. So this decision has something positively to do with full on moving. I would need more additional cards to definitively be like, yep, this is about moving. moving. That doesn't seem necessarily the most important part of it, even if that is valid to your particular decision making. It's more that it feels like when you make this decision, there will be environmental changes around you. And I love that for you, because when our environment changes and we benefit from that new environment, it really positively affects us getting into new mindsets, new mantras that then affect how we're like manifesting, what we're vibing with the world. So overall, the decision's already like, yep, great, good job making that decision. It's going to have some positive changes that are going to have sort of this domino effect of other positive results. But continuing on to that idea, I want to talk about these two cards and their interactions. So first we have the King of Pentacles, and the main thing my spirit guide wanted me to focus on was the pentacle and that it was a king. So kings are masters of whatever particular they're in. And I was asking my spirit guide, does this have to do more with money, or does this have to do more with belief systems? And my spirit guide said it's both, because in this particular case, you clearly have worked on and mastered some form of belief system that is positively affecting the results of you bringing in more income specifically. So not only are you making good decisions when we talk about you making a decision and being happy with it, you're so kind of like in lockdown of like what you want, how you feel about what you're worth, and that type of thing. By default, not only are your decisions going to be better and you can be confident about them being better decisions, but again, when we have this king and we talk about the environment changing, we're being self-aware about how our power has a longer term effect, which is really beautiful and cool. But also, I do want to take just like a small note here. This is like a side little comment. Do you think it's so interesting King of Pentacles is about belief systems? Because belief systems are so like mental, like you have to make that sort of habitual declaration with yourself of like what you're going to continuously tell yourself and choose to believe. But then it's got this mix of energy that once you believe and you have this mental focal point, you then also are putting energy behind it, and then this energy is sort of seeping into all your other decisions. So belief systems is more than like something tangible. It's like tangible is the result, but it is such an amalgamation of like energy, your mind, your heart. It's got a lot going on that I think is more complex than it almost feels like it could mesh in with swords really nicely. Anyways, as you can see over here with the Empress card, I want to show you the lights kind of blocking out her face, and she's so beautiful. She kind of has this very cute expression where she's sort of like flirting with, if you will, the King of Pentacles. And we're seeing the Empress card as a pure representation in this reading as abundance. And it's like she's seeing, hey, that king, they really have that, you know, mindset. I really like what they are believing and presenting themselves to the world. So it's like you're saying to abundance, hey girl, this is what I have to offer. And she's like, hey, I like what you have to offer. And sort of abundance is starting to kind of flow in your direction. And with these beautiful wheat depictions over here, the plants, it is the type of abundance, and we already know this with the Empress card, that grows and grows and grows. So again, it's this decision you're making when we talk about the environment around you. It's that you have locked down something important, that everything you sort of touch continues to grow and get bigger. We see it over here with the environment, but with the Empress being clearly like showing you sort of like, we're breaking down what got you here and what is the result, because it's more than you making a decision. It's being self-aware of what a good place you're in at your life right now. So she's like flirting. She's like, ooh, I like that. And that's something to consider going forward. If you're ever in a rut, you can be like, am I someone that the Empress and abundance wants to flirt with me back? And if you feel like you're pushing off those sort of like needy or stressed out vibes, she wouldn't be into that. Like the Empress is like, I like someone a little more chill and confident with themselves. And if you find yourself in that state of mind of being like, I gotta get back there, you just gotta pull back and be like, I'm cool, I got this, I'm worth it, I'm good enough. And you can kind of think of it as an entity itself that you can kind of experience and talk to. Actually, this is really interesting. I recently was working with someone, and when it comes to my intuition course and talking about going to the spirit realm and all that jazz, and we talk about all that bringing in together, well, I know somebody who actually has met the archetype, the hermit, in the spirit realm. Who knew? How cool is that? So theoretically, if you are familiar with getting to spirit realm, you could totally like go talk to the Empress. I bet you she exists. Wait, hold on, my spirit guide's talking to me. Oh, my spirit guide's saying yes. Let me just get double confirmation on that. I'm looking at her right now. I will talk to her in one moment. Hold on, let me just see if she has anything to say. No, she wants to talk to me later. Okay, cool. Love that, guys. I gotta go talk to the Empress later. Anyways, very cool. Okay, she's giving me very, like, happy, positive vibes right now. Loving that. Anyways, going forward with these last two cards. So on one side, and this is a huge thing, again, with the tarot training course, we want to look at some cues, and so often I find, mysteriously and magically, the Two of Swords tends to pop up in the middle of my readings, and they're very symbolic and metaphorical of like what's on one side, what's on another, and sometimes they're decisions that are being made and you're being shown like this is the decision they're trying to decide between this and this is the decision over here. But in this case and scenario, my spirit guide said that on one side, this is like what's happening and where we're going, and this is what could have been. So as in the decision you're making was the right one. And on one hand, we have the Five of Cups in reverse. So it's being read kind of like upright and in reverse as being like, it's not going to happen, woo! But with the Five of Cups, if we look at this imagery over here, this is a lot of like, I mean, it's truly crying over spilt milk, which is the common terminology used around this card. It's like, okay, you know, you're frustrated with making mistakes, making decisions that feel like they're really annoying and you're lamenting over. Guess what? Good news. You made that decision. Don't have to deal with that anymore. That's not in your realm and your environment anymore. We talk about environment changing. With the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is beautiful, but it's very like slow. It's like a very slow card, which is not necessarily bad all the time. But this is basically being like, guess what? Slowness, you don't need slowness anymore. Your speed, your abundance, you're instant, you're ready. You don't need to like slow down and think about something right now. You're just in the position of receiving, which I love. So overall, as you can tell, that was a great decision you made. It's got a great chain of events all working itself out. And it is important to remember when we read tarot, what is important to be like discussed or known shows up in the cards when we need them. So it's really important to be aware that this is what you avoided by making this decision. And by being aware of the kind of sort of positive, I don't know if you'd call them results. I don't want to say consequences, results. You can be more aware of that not only can you move towards things you want, but you can move away. So keep that in mind that when you make choices going forward or mulling stuff over, that you can have many things from one simple action. And I mean that in a really positive way. I don't mean that in a, like, don't overthink it. Just know that, like, you can both get the job you want or receive something career related you want or a romantic partner, and you can also lose other things that you don't want. And so as long as you kind of sort of set that energy moving forward, you can see how positive you are as a creator and then realize how much more kind of option and choice and power you have in your life. So I hope you're feeling empowered and amazing. This is a very positive reading. Please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next. Oh wait, I have another group. Group number 4. Group number 4. Let's find out. Will you be happy with the choice that you made by looking at the cards? We've got the Three of Cups upright. Doesn't it give you like old man vibes, like an old man sitting in a chair with his cup of coffee? I don't know, something about the vibes in this particular King of Cups upright. Knight of Cups upright, Knight of Swords in reverse, and Nine of Pentacles upright. Let me look at everything. Oh, this is so precious. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. So cute. Okay, let me just confirm a couple of things to get some specifics. Okay, you're gonna love this. So first, let's start with the Knight of Swords in reverse. If you're familiar with my tarot training course, not all reverse cards are read as reverse cards. Instead, this card is being read as an upright, but it's in reverse so it can interact and go into the Nine of Pentacles. So the Knight of Swords in this particular scenario is representing, my spirit guide said, the speed at which you will receive the result of your decision being made. So you're going to make that decision, you're making that decision, and then very quickly you're hearing back of like, it's a yes, or you're receiving a lot of stuff. You're getting it back. It's a lot of receiving type vibes. So with that, which is awesome, who doesn't love a speedy, getting back what you put out, it goes into the Nine of Pentacles. This is so fantastic. I love this type of happy vibes when it comes to receiving, because not only is it an enormous amount, but this is like a very self-aware type of receiving. So it's like not just meeting somebody that you really vibe with, but meeting like the love of your life. You're going to spend the rest of your life with them, and you're very appreciative and aware of every moment that you have these special interactions together. Or it's like getting a huge promotion or just more business or money coming your way, and it's not only more and that just makes you feel really happy, but you're in this position where you're like, wow, I'm gonna go like treat myself and upgrade my life or buy a bunch of fun things I've always wanted to buy, and then you're receiving those things you purchased and you're just really enjoying them. So it's like a lot of receiving, good receiving, and you're very self-aware and appreciative and just enjoying it. It's like the ultimate, you're giving yourself permission to just be happy, which is so great. So right away, we already know that this is a decision you're going to be happy with, but there's some extra details I think are really important for you to understand how cute this is, of the results of this decision, the whole interaction of what's happening. So my spirit guide was pointing out the owl in this card. And this owl is supposed to be a representation of your animal spirit guide. If you are not familiar with this, I went into like a whole detailed thing on my Patreon about the system and how it works, but essentially to catch you up, everybody has one forever guide, and then you work with many different spirit guides throughout your lifetime, but you have like one consistent one, and then you work with everybody else at the same time. And then it's the same thing with animal spirit guides, but you might have like a couple different power animals, or you might have one, like 1 to 4 type of thing, maybe just one. And then those are your power animals, same concept, they're your constant, but then you can work with a ton of different animal spirit guides and receive messages from them and stuff like that. Well, it appears that as you're receiving all this good stuff, there are some individuals that feel disgruntled about it and kind of are throwing some stuff your way, kind of like trying to. Let me just make sure I'm reading that correctly. Okay, I'm just triple checking. Yeah, so it's kind of like, and now this is where it gets really good. But they're like noticing it. They're essentially like, oh, they think they're so great for getting, and they're trying to throw a little something your way. Maybe it's like words or a passive-aggressive comment or whatever. But here's the beautiful thing. I am being told, and this is super like, it's not rare in that it happens, but I don't see it often pop up in a tarot reading, so this is super cute. Your animal spirit guide is really going out of their way to extra make sure that type of environment and negative vibes doesn't come in your little world of success, so that you can therefore enjoy it. So if you kind of hear at all like from maybe a secondhand source, like a friend being like, hey, I heard blank was talking about you. Don't even like ask what it's about. Don't bring it into your experience because it didn't happen to you directly. And your animal spirit guide's making sure it's not happening to you directly. And if you hear about it indirectly, it's like the universe and your animal spirit guide sending you like letting you know, being like, see how it's not directly in your way? Now you get to make a decision that you don't have to have this come into your, hold on one second. Oh, sorry. I thought I saw something out of my corner eye. Just my animal spirit guide popping and checking on me. Love you. Sorry, I got my animal spirit guides popping up. Anyway, sorry. So anyways, I think that's really cute. So you're basically being protected to enjoy the best experience out of this. But also remember, like, if you hear about other people being jealous, don't even ask for more details. You're hearing about it. You're not having to experience it firsthand. But in addition to that cute factor, there's another cute factor. So over here, we have the Knight of Cups upright, representing your more human-y spirit guides. Your animal spirit guides are a part of this too. It's like general spirit guides. But in some cases and scenarios, it is a little bit ancestry. Mostly, I was told it was predominantly spirit guides, what I'm talking about, but there is a sprinkle for some of you, some ancestral work, it's in there, which is really cute, that essentially they wanted you to have this, so they lined up a chain of events in order to bring you this opportunity. So sometimes, you know, our loved ones, our spirit guides and such get involved. Normally they're guiding and trying to help you be your own like tool and master and do it yourself. But yeah, they will totally throw good vibes your way, plenty, and shower you with gifts. Often this is both a sign of like them just saying like, love you, I'm so proud of you, I love you. But often it's sort of like a sign of being like, give yourself credit, you're great, look at this, look at like throwing it in your face and showing their love. But the biggest thing that I'm picking up energy wise, but my spirit guide was telling me about, is that it's just about love. It's just basically like, not only are you making this decision and receiving a big reward, but it was all through an act of like love, which I just think is the cutest thing. I'm so happy for you and those vibes that are going your way. That's awesome. But this is where it gets even cuter. That's right, you thought it couldn't be any more cute, but it's getting even cuter. From you making this decision and receiving these results, you're actually indirectly helping someone else. So the King of Cups is representing somebody who's going to be indirectly benefiting from these results and decisions. But by you making this choice, it appears that your actions create a chain of events that bring some much needed social interaction for this individual, and just like happiness, partying, very more on the social and like assistant vibe for them. So it just shows you not only how loved you are and protected you are from your own personal spiritual crew, which is really cute because you already get the answer that like, yep, you're going to be really happy with this decision tenfold, but you're shown how you're being taken care of, watched over, gifted, but also how your happiness can make others happy. So know that while we did talk a little bit about maybe there is going to be, I'm just saying maybe you might hear about the indirectness of people like being a little jealous. I'm trying to use words to like not have you focus on that as much and focus more of your attention on this. So this is like the predominant focus of your reality, because it is. But that in turn, not only are you not going to experience that, not have that in your world, you're going to focus on that by you being happy, you can make others happy. So I think that's really beautiful and gorgeous, and I hope you're really excited about it too, and I hope it makes you feel warm and fuzzy like I'm personally feeling right now. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Please give this video a like, a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye.